in the skies. 31-4 responding with 515-17. Vermont 49. 31-3 at the scene, 15-18. Guide on me.
The Endwell Fire District encompasses an area of 7.5 square miles populated by approximately 17,000 people. The district is governed by an elected 5-member board of fire commissioners and receives its authority from the state of New York. The district purchases and owns all firefighting equipment. Supporting the fire district are the Endwell Fire Department and the O.L. Davis Fire Company. Using the fire district's equipment and manpower from the O.L. Davis Fire Company, the Endwell Fire Department is responsible for fire prevention, fire suppression, and public safety education. Endwell Fire Department operations are directed by a command structure consisting of a chief of department, 3 assistant chiefs, 2 captains, and 6 lieutenants who are each assigned the responsibility for a piece of apparatus. Apparatus currently operated by the Endwell Fire are 3 engines, 1 aerial truck, 1 squad truck, 1 rescue truck, a 4-wheel drive brush truck, an incident command vehicle, and our newest acquisition, a hovercraft. The Endwell Fire Department, which has approximately 75 active firefighters, responded to 280 calls for assistance in 1993. The O.L. Davis Fire Company is the membership organization which provides the manpower for operation of the district's firefighting equipment. Membership is open to all residents of the Endwell Fire District who are 16 years of age or older. After applying for membership, potential firefighters are inducted into the company by a ballot vote. Following the completion of a 14-lesson course in firefighting skills conducted by the Endwell Fire Department Training Division, members attain firefighter status. The company also nominates and elects all fire officers serving in the Endwell Fire Department. The company also organizes and provides financial support for membership social activities through fundraisers such as our ice cream social and pancake breakfast. The O.L. Davis Fire Company was founded on September 13th, 1921. The first chief of department was George Burt, who served from 1921 until 1946. Endwell's first firehouse was built on the corner of Marne and Davis Avenue on land made available by Orlando L. Davis, our namesake. Endwell's first apparatus was a 1921 Ford Model T chemical pumper. The gentleman in the center of this photograph is Orlando L. Davis.
Car fire, Grand Union parking lot, Hooper Road, 10-8. 31B, 10-8.
Endwell's next piece of apparatus was a 1932 American LaFrance custom pumper.
Any 31 unit? 31, go ahead. I'm near that fire, that's fully involved. That's 31 Endwell, report from 56 engine fire, fully involved. 10-4. You want to pull it siren again?
This photograph, taken in the early 1930s, shows the Ford Model T on the left and the American LaFrance on the right. Chief's car in the center. gentleman standing next to the chief car is George Bird. Endwell's next acquisition was a 1937 GMC Ward LaFrance pumper.
414, put your lights on. 47, 10-8 at 2138. 51 to 431 4. 31 4 on 31 4. 34 on 31. I'd like you to stay behind the car, give me 2.5 lines. 31 4.
This photograph, taken on September 13th, 1937, shows all three of Endwell's first apparatus. The American LaFrance, the Ward LaFrance, and the original Ford Model T. There's really a distinguishable difference between the size of the apparatus even back in the day.
I want you to stand by the hydrant in the corner of the plaza. 431
Our next acquisition was a 1946 Chevrolet John Bean high-pressure pumper.
319 Endwell, 1097. 31 to 431
By 1955, the fire department had outgrown the original station at Davis Ave, and a new station was built near the intersection of Country Club and Hooper Roads. This photograph shows the station near completion. In 1958, a GMC custom squad truck was purchased. The gentleman in the center is a past chief, Roger Knapp. In 1958 also, the original 31.6 aerial truck was purchased. This was a 65-foot American LaFrance on an international chassis. This served until 1981.
Responding 2052.
In 1959, the O.L. Davis Fire Company purchased the 1959 Ford Fairlane 500 station wagon and presented it to the fire department for emergency use. These slides depict a fire on Argonne Avenue sometime in the early 1960s. The John Bean, the original Squad 31.7 on the left.
Okay. Sugar Whiskey and I pulling behind us. Fire control, engine 31.5, standing by at the hydrant on Crestwood and Country Club. 31.5, standing by hydrant, Crestwood and Country Club, 2053. 31 to 31C.
Country Club station as it appeared in the 1960s. The fire phone's 1960s equivalent of 911.
Larry, have that aerial back in service as soon as you can.
Endwell firefighters from a color slide dated March 26, 1961. Past Chief Harry Ruffle is in the upper left.
314. status? Center in. What's the status up there?
Pest Chief Roger Knapp is in the center.
Report all units, this is a working fire. Fire control from 31, give me a second alarm. I have a working structure fire, 414 Crestwood.
It's believed that this photograph was taken at a live burn on Farm to Market Road. Newspaper clippings from a fire at the Goodrich Milk Plant on Kentucky Avenue. Truck 316 is on the way. As the district continued to grow, new stations were built in 1967. Station 2 was built on the site of the original station on Davis and Marne Avenue. Station 2 is now the home for Engine 31.5 and Rescue 31.9.
Endwell fire personnel,
Station 3 was built on Chrysler Road on the north side of the district.
structure fire, 414 Crestwood Court.
Station 3 now houses Engine 31.4 and Brush Truck 31.2.
Response to a working structure fire, 414 Crestwood Court. Time of alarm, 2056. David Andrews, Chief 31. Go ahead. David Andrews, no vehicles.
On July 4th, 1991, the Town of Union Bicentennial Parade was held in Endwell. The parade marched up Hooper Road. This is one of the latest shots of Endwell Station 1 prior to a tremendous renovation that took place starting in July of this year. Engine 31.3, which was new, it's a 1991 Salisbury. That is Rescue 31.9, which was replaced in 1994. The O.L. Davis Fire Company marched in the parade. Chief Brett Chellis, Assistant Chief John Ruck, Second Assistant Chief Fran Pandage.
Hi there, how are you? Reported working structure fire, 414 Crestwood Court.
Our suburban command vehicle,
Second alarm requested fire, 414 Crestwood
and the lineup of Endwell apparatus.
David Andrews, no vehicles.
In 1991, after numerous studies that showed that our station was inadequate, substantial renovation was undertaken. The station was essentially taken apart from the inside, leaving only the outside walls. At one point, the station was completely open from the basement to the roof.
You copy 31's message. Hit the hydrant at Winston and Lindale, weigh in with 4 inch. Affirmative. No, nice. Go fire control to 31.5, relocate, substation. Engine 31, fire control board. Engine 5 relocating, country club engine 8 responding, 4 number. Scene repeat. Tower 31. I can't reach you, 31 car. The car 31 stays on the scene. 31 speed, 4 seconds. 31, you got flame coming out the back window. Affirmative. Hit 4. The 4. I lay at 4 inch wide and get joined.
A new 50-foot deep addition was put on the rear of the building. community room, which had been on the top floor of the original station, was now moved to this new addition. This view taken from the basement level outside of the training classroom shows the building completely open to the roof. Slowly the steelwork went up for the new addition.
Affirmative 31. Endwell fire, Endwell. Fire control, exit 31 fire responding.
This is the commissioner's boardroom. By January, we were able to start moving back into the station. Here we're showing a loading hose on the newly refurbished engine 31-4.
3611 Lindale Drive. Second alarm. Respond directly into the scene.
Chairman of the board, Richard Place. By March, we were able to move back into the station. On June 7th, an open house was held in conjunction with a station rededication. It was a tremendous success. Including was a parade, food, apparatus displays, both in front of the station and demonstrations in the rear in the parking lot. The main Endwell Jazz Ensemble entertained on the apparatus floor. A large crowd was assembled in the rear of the building for extrication training, fire extinguishers. Firefighter Jen Badalini sang the national anthem.
Everyone here today to our
Chairman of the board, Richard Place, welcomed the multitudes.
If you haven't seen everything and had enough to eat.
And the Endwell Fire Department was on its way for another 70 years of service to the community. The garage fire on Moore Avenue caused improper disposal of ashes from the fireplace. The cellar fire on Riverview Drive caused a laundry basket placed on an electric stove.
There's 5 windows in the basement total. We'll take them off.
Everyone should have the opportunity to make an emergency run down Main Street with engine 31-3 with lights flashing, the sirens screaming, and the air horns blasting. The Endwell Fire Department has been most fortunate to have been provided with several abandoned houses on Argonne Avenue to burn for training. This provides an invaluable experience to our firefighters. The firefighters in the black turnout are recruits. A townhouse fire on Plaza Drive during the blizzard of 1993. The cause was a fire in a microwave. 16 firefighters camped out in Station 1 in case of just such an incident, and it really paid off this time. Engine 31-3 responded with a crew of 10, led by the brush truck with 3 personnel inside. We rescued the elderly occupant of the house. The blizzard was followed 3 weeks later with a flood of 93, Part 1. 2 weeks later, we got to do it all over again as the river again went over the banks. This is near the intersection of Davis and Argonne Avenues. It's Route 17 in the background. Later that spring, we responded to an 18-victim motor vehicle accident on Route 17C. This really tested the EMS system as EMS units from far away as Whitney Point either responded or were placed on standby status. Union volunteers responded with 3 of their rigs. Bristol responded to their newest piece of apparatus. Our incident command vehicle being used by the EMS coordinator and Chief 31. A lineup of ambulances ready to be loaded. In June 1993, Endwell Fire responded to a building fire on Kentucky Avenue. It was a large storage building with 2 moving vans next to it, surrounded by other storage buildings. The cause was listed as incendiary. Engine 31-5 was first on the scene and held the fire at bay with a stack gun. And truck 31-6 and the Endicott Tower could set up their water tower operation. The wooden storage building origin was totally destroyed, as were the 2 moving vans on the left. In February of 1994, we responded mutual aid to Union Center for a house fire. The fire started in a garage when spilled gasoline contacted a utility light. Engine 31-3 and Squad 31-7 responded with manpower. Engine 3 laid its complete hose bed of 4-inch line into the scene. Later we found there was a closer hydrant, but it was buried with snow, and none of the hydrants were marked.
Paul, we've got a heavy smoke coming out of all the eaves on the attic area. We're going to start opening this up. Anyway, all right. We've opened up on the north side by the chimney.